So here we are back again, the alpha male with the Betamax A to Z. And we're still sort of sifting through what was sort of alphabetized. So we haven't even started the hard work yet of alphabetizing those other piles. So there's going to be, more than you think. Offbeat, Meg Tilly, uh, Judge Reinhold. I was talking about this the other day. He pretends to be a cop, looks goofy. Somehow this went right through my radar. I don't remember seeing this in the movie theater. Can you read that? Is it just a warning label? I can't read it. Be kind, rewind. So I can guarantee you that was a rental. Disney. Was this Touchstone? Yeah, Touchstone Films. They branched off and made their own label for non-G movies, but this looks pretty G. In this outrageous, off-the-wall romantic comedy, Judge Reinhold plays Joe Gower, a zany librarian who winds up impersonating a cop as a favor for his friend in the New York City Police Department. The impersonation goes hilariously awry when Joe falls in love with one of New York's finest. Beautiful policewoman. Oh. Mistaken identities, on the beat misfortunes, and impromptu mayhem make Offbeat the year's most arresting comedy. Ooh, I like that wordplay. So he's pretending to be a cop, and then he meets her out on the street. She's also a cop, and then they fall in love. I can get at some point. She figures out he's impersonating the cop, and he's a piece of shit. And then somehow, maybe he foils a robbery or something. Who knows? Then they realize they were made for each other. You know what? Nice, soft, goofy fun. I will enjoy that. At least I hope I will. I should. All right, who's next? No retreat, no surrender. Now that looks like Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I was never a big Jean-Claude fan. And this looks like the stuff pre-Jean-Claude, where people care. Kurt McKinney, Judah LaFrance, Ron Perez, Hassan, Peace, Sugarfoot Cunningham, Ken Lipto, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. So this, you know what this smells like, right? Like he wasn't even on the box the first time, and then he started getting some heat, and they put the tape out like this. What do you think? What does that say? Russian, what? Ivan the Russian butcher who makes mincemeat out of everyone faces off with Jason the Kid karate student. With Jason the Kid karate student in a do or die bid over what? Syndicated crime? What are they talking about here? Jason Stillwell is an avid admirer of Bruce Lee, but he has suffered countless recent defeats. At his lowest emotional ebb, Jason takes refuge at Bruce Lee's grave. Miraculously, Bruce Lee's spirit appears before him and offers to teach Jason all his most closely guarded secrets. Okay. You know what? That is so cheesy. I'm going to check that out. New World again. As cheap as possible. Production. I haven't even heard of this film. Maybe it's good. You know what? Try to have an open mind. That's what I tell myself every day. Pierce Brosnan, Nomads. No idea what this is about. So I remember seeing this on the shelf, and I still didn't rent it because I'm like, I don't get it. Remington Steele himself, and later James Bond. This is that Goldsboro again. Man, a lot of tapes came from that place. Must have been some store. All right. TV's Remington Steele plays a role of his life and the role of his death in this complex, thriller about a mystical band of deadly, wandering Nordic spirits. Bronson plays a French anthropologist who is brutally murdered by the nomads. What? Bronson plays a French archaeologist who is brutally murdered by the nomads? But before he dies, he magically passes his memories of his last days on to a beautiful doctor, Leslie Ann Down, who tried to save his life. Then suddenly the doctor is plunged into a deadly game of life and death as she realizes that she has somehow become the next target of the unrelenting nomad. That is so convoluted. I guess he was busy on Remington Steel, so he needed a smaller part. Looks like this was a rental, not for very long. This thing is in excellent condition. I don't know. And box, by the way, the box is minty too, so you know what I mean? The natural. This thing is sealed, but I think it's one of those ones where they sealed it after they were done renting. I was going to make a joke, but probably YouTube wouldn't find that funny. But there are other things where things get worn out and then sold off. You know the natural, right? Old guy makes a left turn during his younger years and then somehow comes back to what he loves and miraculously becomes a good ball player. Oh, fantasy movie. I've probably seen this 100 times. The Natural. Paul Newman. Robert Redford. Jeez, man. Mickey's Christmas Carol. I know I've talked about this before. Full-length animated feature. I've never seen this. I don't even know why it's in my pile. The chance of me watching this are near zero. Just not, you know what I mean? I'm not a Disney adult, sorry. Just not. Beautiful sticker though, look at that. Made on the cheap. It must be a short movie. Oh, yeah, 25 minutes though. So, you know, give it a break. Another, and the retellings of A Christmas Story with Ebenezer Scrooge and all that stuff just seem to be endless. I guess it works if you make money. MTV Video to Go. I love these kind of tapes. Let's see who's on there. Kaja Gugu. That looks like Genesis. Talk Talk. Jay Giles Band. The Tubes. She's a beauty. One in a million girl. You know. Naked Eyes. There's always something there to remind me. I don't know what that is. And I can't read it. It's just, I can't read it. Motels, of course, they're great. Dwight Tilley, I don't know what that is. Thomas Dolby's good. Stray Cats I was never a real fan of. And Duran Duran, come on, give me a break. That's good stuff. There we go. And there's all the videos. Suddenly Last Summer. You'd think that would be Only the Lonely, but it's Suddenly Last Summer. I'm not sure which one I like better. Suddenly Last Summer is a great vibe. She's Sexy, 17, I don't like that song. Promises, Promises, Missing Persons, Destination Unknown. Although I have to tell you, watching that movie that I talked about on this channel before, the Lunch Wagon, that they played that song Mental Hopscotch so much, I started liking it. You can see how people got mesmerized by this music, listening to it over and over again on the radio when there was nowhere to escape it. Jay Giles Band Centerfold, huge. Cause it Goo Goo Too Shy. It's not right. Dwight Twilley, Girls. Well, it's a promising start, but I don't know. Thomas Dolby, Hyperactive. I figured that would be Science, but nope. Tubes, She's a Beauty. I called that one. It's My Life. Genesis, That's All. It's always the same. It's just a shame. That's all. Oh. You see night. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful condition on that. This might have been in one of the Honey Hole videos. I think maybe this is what's going on. Because Honey Hole I might have filtered in here. I can't remember. Yeah, you just have to listen to it twice, right? I mean, it's not like you guys are watching these and then memorizing them. So we just get to talk about it again. Yeah, you know what? I bet you anything I'd probably say the same shit I said last time. Madonna. There she is. She's looking up, like, hey, what's up, bro? Burning up, borderline, lucky star, like a virgin. So you can sort of see where we were in her career, right? Weird that they put this out with Like a Virgin when that album had Material Girl and some other stuff. They must have just, well, listen, we got to crank this out. It don't matter if it's ready or not. Just sell them. Burning Up Borderline Lucky Star. I thought there were other songs off that album. Like a Virgin's. You only get a little taste of the second album right there. I'm pretty sure I talked about a concert film that she had. Mickey and Maude. Dudley Moore, king of the late 70s, early 80s. Arthur himself. Amy Irving. Well, she was married to Steven Spielberg for a while, so you got that connection. Anne Reinking, I don't know. But, I mean, I can obviously see, what is he, a bigamist? What do we got here? Dudley Moore and director Blake Edwards. Here we go. See, Blake Edwards, this is what he wants to do. He wants to have a double marriage. Are reunited in this laugh-packed romp about a lovable bigamist. TV reporter Rob Steiger longs for a baby, but his career-minded wife, Mickey, is too busy for motherhood. A romantic fling with a seductive cellist. Okay. Amy Irving leads to her pregnancy. Bob receives another shock when Mickey announces that she's also expecting in love with both women. In love with both women, he marries Maude and starts leading a double life full of complicated... why don't you just fucking come clean, dude? What's all that shit? Are you going to do all that stuff? Come clean. Say, hey, listen, ladies. You know, sorry. But here's what's up. Here's the truth. Instead of all this mishigas. No, I don't see my... paste pen to fix this. But this is clearly a rental. There's its number. Oh god, that thing's getting worse and worse. I gotta get it back in this box because I don't know where the paste thing is. You know, come clean, dude. There's probably something happened to this guy. You know, those Hollywood types. Let's see, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 2 more to go. And then there's only 3. So guess what? This is a super bonus, supersized issue. Now look at this. I know you haven't heard of that. Matilda, and it's got a kangaroo with boxing fists on it. Elliot Gould, I can see. That looks like Robert Mitchum. That looks like Roscoe P. Coltrane. And I'm not getting who that is. Let's look a little closer. Roy Clark? Also starring Clive. Oh, Elliot Gould. Okay, so he was the star of this. Clive Raval, Henry Grenard, Roy Clark. He was country music. He was on Hee Haw. Lionel Stander, don't know. Art Manarina, don't know. Karen Carlson, don't know. Robert Mitchum, certainly I know. Sure looks like Roscoe P. Coltrane, though. James Best, wasn't that his name? Roscoe's name? You may not believe your eyes, but it's true. That's a real live kangaroo, Matilda, squaring off in the ring with the champ for the world's heavyweight boxing. Okay. All right. So this is probably past Elliot Gould's prime here. He's going to win the title. But everybody wanted to glam onto that Rocky train. It's going to have Matilda do it. But you know what? That's just goofy enough that I would watch that. Oh, there's the video guy again. This has got to be that Goldsboro, right? Yep. Goldsboro, whatever it says. See why we have to have that guy on? I need to know what's up. James Stewart, John Wayne, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Now, I am told that this is John Wayne's finest movie. I don't know. I've never seen it, so I will have to watch that. Lee Marvin is in it too. Wow. Oh, and it's a fancy box. Look at that. Wow. I guess we're gonna, since we got that open. Yep, it's got somebody's name on here. We've seen that before. Fayetteville, North Carolina. 302 D North Riley Road. Riley, are you still there? Riley, can you hear me? Huh? There you go. Oh boy. Black and white, huh? I mean, you know what this is if you know what it is, right? No sense in me reading that. This print is small. I'm going to butcher it like all the others. Now, here's the morning after, and I mentioned probably on a live stream that I got a pile of what we would call blank tapes, but really they were just what people were recording on back then. And I love blank tapes because you never know what you're going to find. And one of them had this movie recorded off of Cinemax. And it left, people don't exactly record. They probably just hit record and walked off. So it had some of the other stuff at the end of it, the Cinemax commercials. And that's fun. And I'd never seen this movie, and I sat there and watched it because I was looking to see what was on the tape. So there's like she wakes up with a dead body, and then you got to find out she's constantly running and hiding from the police. Yet the police aren't really onto her yet, and you got to figure out who actually did the killing. And you know what? This is not the greatest movie that's ever existed, but it wasn't bad. You know, look at that double window. It wasn't bad. If you like that sort of suspense, you get some famous Hollywood locations. And when I say famous, I mean I see them in a lot of films of this era, but not necessarily like landmarks, but like apartment complexes and streets, stuff like that. That's, listen, I was, I wasn't blown away, but I had a good time sitting here watching it. Moscow on the Hudson. Never watched this movie. I saw commercials. He was like a marble mouth or something, and I'm like, oh, I'm not really interested. But now that I see that it's got Maria Conchita Alonso and Calvet de Burberks, maybe I'll check it out. There you go. I don't even know what it's about. I think I saw a little bit of this where the guy gets there and he's on the bus and he's like teaching the guy, this is how you get around in the city. It was a defector or something, right? He was in the circus and then he's a defector. I don't know, I can't remember. I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but I think that's what's going on. And that was in Russia. Defections, big thing during this time period, right? Yakov Smirnov, like in Russia. In Russia, we don't have defections. We have just defect. Can't afford the rest. Jokes like that. Only better. Because I just made it up on the spot, and really it doesn't make any sense. Marnie. I think it is. Alfred Hitchcock. Tippi Hedren. Whoa, Tippi. And Sean Connery, and this must have been around the Bond times. I don't know this movie, but if it's Hitchcock, it's probably some kind of secret, sinister. The master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock, illustrates his spellbinding talents in this unrelenting psychological thriller. Tippi Hedren is the troubled title character, a compulsive thief and liar caught in an act by Sean Connery. Rather than turn her over to the law, Connery impulsively married. Oh, gee, okay. I don't. Was that like blackmail? I don't like the sound of that. Major Video, but they don't tell you where they are. I want to know where they are. Did I pull the tape out, by the way? I don't think I did. There you go. There's your Marnie treat. Factory sticker. Well, this had to have been. Yeah, because it says Major Video on it, and then there's a barcode there. This is definitely rental. I bet how many people rented this, right? It wasn't Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Lee's ghost. So that is it for this episode. You got a few extra because that was the end of the pile. And I think out of alphabetical, man, there's probably several more episodes like I'm looking at over there. And then some other things that were on a different section, they're like bigger boxes and stuff. Those were in alphabetical, and they all need to be merged. So the 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 videos will go on. You keep watching, I'll keep making them. And even if you're not watching, I'll make them and they'll be up there. And until YouTube dissolves or they decide you can't show video pictures like this, the boxes will carry on. Anyway, God bless you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.